What is going on, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen? The ACMJ's Gamer here. Today we have an article from Kotaku regarding Beyond Good and Evil 2 by our favorite reporter, that's sarcasm by the way, Ethan Gack. Apparently Ubisoft Montpellier, however you want to say it, is losing its managing director as Beyond Good and Evil 2 continues to struggle, as many of you know if you've been following the channel. I've been covering this news. Basically, that Beyond Good and Evil 2, it's still in development apparently, but there have been a lot of shakeups, there's been a lot of different people that have left, and unfortunately I don't think the game is going to look anything like what we previously saw in 2018, along with demos and things like that since then, because it's been going on a long time now. So with that being said, let's get into the article. Last week, staff at Ubisoft were informed their managing director was no longer with the company. Kotaku has learned it comes as the studio faces a labor investigation by local government authorities over an unprecedented number of developers experiencing burnout and going on sick leave. Now, with the game still not even technically in full production, it faces a personal shakeup among its core team and investigation by the inspection. I'm not going to finish that. I don't know how to pronounce that. In Montpellier, France. According to three sources familiar with development who wish to remain anonymous because they were not authorized to speak about it. Quote, "The health and wellness of our teams is an ongoing priority," a spokesperson for Ubisoft told Kotaku in an email. Given the length of the development cycle with Beyond Good and Evil 2, the development team is undergoing well-being assessments through a third party for preventative measures and to evaluate where additional support may be needed. The studio told staff last week that managing director Carmana, who had previously been absent since the beginning of the year, would not be returning and had left the company. No reason was provided, citing legal confidentiality. Nearly two-decade veteran of Ubisoft who began in marketing left his Paris office in 2019 to become the head of the studio, best known for creating Rayman. He apparently declined to comment when asked why he was no longer at Ubisoft. His departure comes a year after which saw dozens of developers going out on extended leave for stress and sickness, including many leads according to three sources familiar with the studio's operations. Some came back while others eventually left the studio altogether, eventually sparkling a visit from the French Labor Inspection Office last December. Kotaku understands that the entity has now been tasked with interviewing employees and providing a full report on the health and well-being of the teams. A representative of the Labor Inspection Office declined to comment, citing confidentiality. It is also considered with Beyond Good and Evil 2's most recent shift in direction, which among other change saw senior creative director Jean-Marc Jeffrey removed from the project. Kotaku understands he's been replaced by Emile Morel. Previously, the game's associate director, Charles Gaudrin, meanwhile, has become the new game director following the departure of Dumas. Remains as the game's executive producer, though some wonder if he will eventually be replaced as well. So yeah, this is very interesting stuff. A lot of this sounds like the Beyond Good and Evil, the Black Sails team. Or not Black Sails, I'm sorry. Skull and Bones team, that's what it is. They were having a lot of issues with people leaving, their creative, director leaving, not knowing where to take the series based on, a bunch of different stuff. From what I've seen, I'm not going to be buying it. It doesn't look good for me. Might be good for other people. I don't know. We'll see. But this does sound familiar, and it sounds like it's not just affecting the one studio. It sounds like it's affecting a bunch of different studios, and Beyond Good and Evil 2 is one of the games a lot of people are looking forward to if Ubisoft can pull it off. With that being said, they go on, they say, last shown back at E3 2017, it was pitched as an open-world adventure in which players move seamlessly from space to city streets, where they can then collect intel for their next adventure. The game would feature customizable ships and online multiplayer. It sounded incredibly ambitious at the time, and the project has been hampered by a number of tech, design, and organizational challenges in the years since. The original game's director was reportedly toxic to work with while also often absent from production. He ended up resigning in 2020 amid a larger reckoning with workplace abuse at Ubisoft. 2.5 years later, sources tell Kotaku it's still struggling to nail down a creative vision that is both fun and achievable. So yeah, that was another thing, is that if you were looking forward to any game that is being developed by Ubisoft and it was kind of like on the side, we have to remember they had a huge shakeup with the sexual accusations scandal that left a lot of their senior creative team members spots open, and a lot of them either got pushed around to a different department or they were fired altogether. So that definitely was a factor, I think, both in Skull and Bones and in this case. Now, as far as I was going to say, and really beforehand, it kind of started when everything came out about Ashraf Ismail, who was the lead, I think, developer or game director on Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And some of that stuff got out about him before the game, and they actually did fire him. It was kind of a precursor to this whole thing that blew up. But, you know, with that being said, other games at Ubisoft in development we are aware about, like Splinter Cell, AC Mirage, we still haven't seen any gameplay whatsoever, along with the multiple Assassin's Creed sequels that are in the works that I just did an article about yesterday. So if you don't know about that, go and check out that video. That's all I have for Beyond Good and Evil 2, folks. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.